Okay, see, mine just supposed to be able to see your it just says your live screen. Oh, okay, you haven't pressed it yet. We're good. We're good. You just gotta close out of the your live thing, and then we're good. What's going on, everybody? It's LLCOOLBRAD for Realness Productions, and today it's the fourth episode of the college football upset, the Upset College Football Show. Sorry about that. Real quick before we start, yo with 8 O's, 345. I appreciate the follow, bro. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, man, if you have any questions throughout the show, just let me know and I'll answer them at the end. All right, so let's get into it. Let me turn on my TV real quick. First game we got the Clemson versus Notre Dame game. If you did not watch this game, bro, it was incredible, bro. You had two you had two seven in a you had two 7-0 teams versus each other. It was such a good game, man. Some of the stats for the game. DJ, I'm just gonna call him DJ UA. I don't know how to say his full last name, but the Clemson's QB backup, he went 29 for 44 for 439 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trev's ETN got like nothing, next to nothing. 18 carries for 28 yards and 1 touchdown. If you look at some of his other performance for games, that's not even close to what he usually does. Notre Dame just did a very, very, very good job on defense stopping him. I believe if Clemson would have got that run game going, this would never been a close game. Period. Shoddy Little, what's good though? What's good, bro? What's good, Shoddy? What's good, bro? Appreciate you joining in. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so leading receiver for Clemson, we got Chris Powell, 6 receptions for 161 yards and 1 touchdown. He had a monster game. If you threw it to him in double coverage, it didn't matter. He would still go up and just moss you. He would just go up and moss you, bro. It was incredible. He had an incredible game. Let's get into the Notre Dame stats now. You got Ian Book with a really great game as well. Not as many passing yards, but 22 for 39 for 100 for 310 yards and 1 touchdown. You got Kendrick Williams with 23 carries, 140 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was a very big factor in this game. And then you got McKinley, their leading wide receiver, 5 receptions for 102 yards. He had a really good game as well. But yeah, this really was a great game. Towards the end, this was just a shootout. It really reminded me of the Alabama versus LSU game. If you guys watched that last season, 2019, that game was like this. It came down to the wire, but didn't go into overtime. But it was still a really good game. But anyways, Notre Dame and overtime. Clemson got the ball first. They scored a one play touchdown. I was like, oh wow! Right when I saw that, I was streaming this game on my other channel. LLCOOLBRAD. I was streaming that game last week. I'm gonna be doing some more this weekend. But anyways, I remember watching that and I was like, ooh, this is gonna be a fun overtime, man. I was like, it's gonna be crazy. And then at the last drive, and then Notre Dame scored off of a run play. And then after that, when the second overtime, Notre Dame had the ball first, scored, and then um Clemson just their backup just their offensive line just played terribly that last drive, absolutely terribly. They didn't block a single person, and Notre Dame was just swallowing up the quarterback every single time, every single play, and that just resulted in the loss. That definitely hurts Clemson's chances of making the playoff because if Notre Dame, Ohio State, where's was the other team? Um, Trying to remember what other team it was, but those two teams and the other one, I forget who's number 3 right now. But those two teams, it's gonna be hard. It might be hard for them to get back into the playoff spot if nobody else loses. Be especially hard. And another team I want to talk about just because I'm talking about a little bit of rankings right now. Texas A&M. They're number 5 right now. Last year they went 6-6 in the regular season, beat Oklahoma State in bowl game. Um, they're doing incredible. They're a really breakout team this season. Oh wait, yeah, Alabama too. Sorry, yep, Alabama. That's who the other team was. But yeah, Texas A&M. They're doing a whole lot this season. It would be very interesting to see them in a playoff. I don't even know the last time that even happened. But yeah, anyways, final score of the Notre Dame game, 47-40. On to the next game. Next game, we got Florida. We got Florida. Oh, sorry, Miami versus NC State. Um, this game was absolutely incredible. It was down to the wire as well, like that Clemson game, but even tighter. I would say this was my game of the week. It was so incredible. It was one of the best games I've seen in a long, long time. Um, this season it was like my second best game of the year, probably. Um, but anyway, let's get into it. Miami wins 44-41. All right, so some of the stats for this game. The Kurt King, 31 for 41, 430 yards, bro. 430 and 5 touchdowns. This guy might go, I believe he'll go early second round to end second round. He's going to be an incredible quarterback in the NFL. He has a lot of talent. If he has that talent around him, imagine if he's in, I don't know, I'm not trying to say I want him in Pittsburgh. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But if he was in Pittsburgh with like a really good wide receiver core, or like Seahawks with a really good wide receiver core, he could really do stuff and just make that team great all around. But I wouldn't say go for the Seahawks anyway because they already have a quarterback for a little while. So yeah, keep going into the stats. The Kurt King again, 15 carries for 105 yards. He's their leading rusher for most games as well, which is really surprising as well. He reminds me not he reminds me of Deshaun Watson a lot. He's a taller guy like Deshaun Watson. He's not as short as Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's a little shorter, I believe. But he's had got the exact same speed as Lamar. He can throw the ball. Like both of them, Deshaun and Lamar, both are really, really good team. Both really, really good guys. But yeah, he's gonna be a really good guy to watch out for in the draft in the NFL in these coming years. But anyway, moving on. Miami, Mike Harley, 8 receptions for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. I watched this game too. He went up and made some of the most incredible catches as well. He's probably the player of the week in my opinion. He's my player of the week. Um, he did some amazing things. It's either that or Dakir King. Both of them are mine. I'd say they tied. They did amazing. And then NC State's stats. Hockman, their quarterback, 19 for 28, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Person Jr., 12 carries for 79 yards. And Merrill Amies, 4 receptions for 95 yards. Didn't do too bad that game. He's done better, though. Shout out to everybody who's in here right now. Jalen Journalist, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Blake. 19. I don't even know all those numbers. Appreciate you, LeverettKt. I appreciate you, Shoddy. Appreciate you, bro. All you guys. All right. So what happened this game was it was down to the wire. So what happened was Miami first quarter 14, NC State 14. Miami second quarter 7, NC State 10 that quarter. Miami 10 third quarter. NC State 14 that in the third quarter, and then Miami 13, then NC State 3. So that's what made that game at the end. But total yards this game, Miami 620 total yards, NC State 410. And that one turnover that NC State had, um, I believe cost them the game. It was near the goal line too. There's the same thing as the last game versus Notre Dame versus Clemson. Um, it was like that too because if Clemson, if shoot, it was Notre Dame. Ian Book, he had a chance to get a touchdown, but fumbled it at the goal line, and Clemson recovered. If that wouldn't have happened, and he scored that touchdown, that would have never been an overtime game, and they would have won even more. Um, Miami had 30 first downs, and NC State had 24. But yeah, it was. I always had Miami in that game. It was really surprising how NC State came out though. They've been having a heck of a season though, even though they're 4-3. Um, excuse me, they look really improved, seem like Miami. But yeah, on to the next game. Um, we got on to the next game. We got Florida versus Georgia. This game was good too. I had Georgia by a field goal. Because there's been some games where Florida's energy just isn't there. They come off of an emotional game, and they just don't show up. You know what I mean? That's like a lot of teams in the college football world. They come off of an emotional game. The same with the NFL too. They come off of an emotional game. They play kind of bad that game. I thought Florida was gonna play bad that game. Um, Fun fact, since I'm big into recruiting, Kyle Trask was a 2 star, was nah, he was a 3 star. He was a 79 rated out of 100, which isn't bad, but it's towards the lower side. 2 star. He came from a 2 star and now he looks like a 6 star. He looks incredible. Um, I would not be surprised if he wins. He could win the Heisman this season, but people are saying Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, but I don't even know why Trevor Lawrence is in the mix right now if he's out for COVID. He's been out for COVID for 2 months. He could come back and win it, but the chances are slim. A guy that I think should be in the Heisman is Zach Knight. He plays for, I believe he plays for NC, not NC State. I forget who he plays for, but he's a really good player. All of you guys who know who that is after. Oh, what's good, Target? What's good, bro? What's good, man? How you doing? But anyways, back to the game. That game, it was both teams. They're 4-1. They were 4-1 coming in the game. Um, so total yards that game: Florida 571 yards, UGA 277. Florida 1 turnover, UGA 3. Um, you could see right there that's why they lost that game pretty much. If you have those turnovers, you're just gonna lose that game. They pretty much. I'm not gonna say they fluffed it, but Georgia, their defense had to play better in that. In the second quarter alone, Florida scored 24 of their points. If that wouldn't have happened and Georgia stepped up their defense there, Georgia wouldn't have won that. Would have won that game. Possession wise, Florida had the ball 37 minutes and 26 minutes in total, 26 seconds in total. Sorry, and UGA had 22 minutes and 34 seconds in total. In that game. First downs for that game, Florida had 29. That's really really good. UGA only 12 though, 17 between those two. So that's another reason why they lost that game. That was a really entertaining game if you were a Florida fan. If you weren't, I'm sorry, but all right. So let's get into the stats. Kyle Trask, 30 from 43 for 474 yards. I think that's the I think that's the most in the game in the I believe that's the most this year, honestly, in passing yards, which that's really incredible. 474 yards in a game, bro. That's incredible. Four touchdowns and one interception. Sean Bennett, I believe his name is. Five from 16, 78 yards, one touchdown and one interception. That's just terrible. Um, you can't you if you're gonna play against a good team, you gotta throw for more yards instead of only 78 yards. That's just not gonna happen, man. That's just not gonna fly. Then you got Pierce for Florida, 15 carries for 52 yards and one touchdown. Zach White, UGA, 7 carries for 170 yards, one touchdown. That's where most of their production came from that game. And then Michael Davis for Florida, 5 receptions for 100 yards. He and Michael Pitts is gonna be very, 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 very good in the draft in the NFL. I mean, they both have they're big. They're very physical. They remind me, both of them remind me of Derek. Sorry, not Derek. DK Metcalf. They remind me of him, not as fast though, but around the same physical level as him. Um, I really like both of those wide receivers, and I feel like they have a lot of talent in that they're going to be able to take that to the NFL. So yeah. And then Jackson for UGA, three receptions for 48 yards and one touchdown. Um, Not much to say about this game. UGA just had to get their offense going. They never really got that going. And gave up 24 in the first half. So no, they gave up 40 of their nah nah they gave up 38 of their points in the first half. You can't do that. If you want to win against a big opponent like that, you cannot do that. That's just not gonna fly, man. But on to the next game. On to the next game. We got BYU versus Boise State. Jalen. I know you're like, oh my gosh, they're in the Mountain West, but still, I mean, hey, I mean, I had to do this game. He disagrees that they're not gonna go to the playoff. I think that's gonna happen. Honestly, it might happen. It's a really incredible team what they're doing right now. That last year I don't even think they got 4 wins. Zach Wilson, talk about a quarterback, man. He's in the top fives for the Heisman right now. He could win it, and I don't know. He's gonna be, I think, one of the first five to win it for BYU, the Heisman. I don't know how many they've had, but he's gonna be one of the first to win it for BYU. Um, BYU just from the start, just I expected more from Boise State, but they lost some key pieces in the draft. So I mean, you just got to look at that and put that in consideration. That's why they lost that game, but it's not always that. BYU's blown out every opponent that they've scored this year, that they've played this year. It's it's just been it's just been incredible what they've been doing, and they're 8-0 on the season right now. That's why I say they go to the playoff. They just have amazing like chemistry and discipline on that team. I'm rooting for them honestly. They're a come behind team. They're a come from behind team. Um, and I hope that they keep this going. They're how good they're playing right now, and I hope they keep doing that next season after that, next season after that. I hope they keep doing it. But yeah, Zach Wilson this game, 228. Wait, shoot, 22 out of 28 for 360 yards and three touchdowns. Zach, sorry, no, sorry. Finnegan for Boise State, 15 for 26 for 182 yards, two touchdowns and one interception. For rushing yards, Gallagher for BYU, 14 carries for 123 yards, two touchdowns. He's really surprised me too. I watched a little bit of that game. I didn't tune to a lot of it. I think I streamed like a small portion of it, maybe like just flipped to it for a second, but then clicked off. Because I saw it was a blowout. But He's impressed me as well. He's one of the top guys as for rushing yards this season. He's one of the top guys right now. A Van Buren. It's kind of funny his name though. A Van Buren. It's kind of funny. But he had 16 carries for 45 yards for Boise State. For receiving, Romney for BYU, he had 6 receptions for 133 yards. Big player stepped up that game for BYU. BSU, Shakir, 10 receptions for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. Similar stats right there for those two wide receivers. Almost taken to the some of the better stats. So for the total yards for BYU, they had 573 yards total. And they had 300, and Boise State had 310 total. That's about that is 263 more yards of offense BYU had. And then two turnovers Boise State had. BYU obviously had zero. Um, BYU actually had less time than Boise State with possession because they were just throwing bombs down the field half the time they called plays. So that's a reason that they had less. First downs, BYU had 25 and Boise State had 14. Um, this game was played in Boise. Um, They actually, I don't know, I should be reading this, but their attendance, they had 1,100 people, 3% out of a full capacity of 36,387 people. That's actually surprising that it's only that many people in that stadium. CMU has like 20,000 and it's a lot smaller than that. That's really, really surprising, to be honest with you. I thought they had like at least 60, 55,000 in there. That's really, really surprising. But yeah, final score of that game was 51, BYU 17, Boise State. Here we go on to the next. Oh, wait, no, that's the end of the games. But I'm going on to my prediction for CMU versus Northern Illinois tonight. Um, this game is going to be a great game. This game kicks off at 8 p.m. on uh East on ESPNU. CMU is a 7.5 point favorite here. I think it's going to be way, way more. They blew them out 49-10 last season. I don't even think it's going to be remotely close. It's I just don't see it happening at all. Their rushing game for Northern Illinois, they haven't really got that going. Last game they only gave them 13 carries for 66 yards. It was Whaley, Howard Whaley. And then their top receiver is Todd Ritchie. He's a really good wide receiver. He's underrated. He would remind me of another wide receiver that's in the NFL. He would remind me of Tyler Lockett. He's a bit shorter. He's a bit of shorter guy. He reminds me a lot of him. And how fast he is. So yeah, he's a really good route runner. He really impresses me. But let's talk about Daniel Richardson. First start ever as a redshirt freshman. He throws for 243 yards out of 41 attempts. He completed 23 of them, and he got a touchdown. That's pretty good for your first start. That's definitely not the best redshirt freshman start ever because if you take a look at Wisconsin's, I'm sorry, Jalen, but I got to bring it up. Wisconsin versus Illinois, that first game, that was Wisconsin's redshirt freshman first start of his career. He was like near complete and almost he tied the record for most complete passes at Wisconsin, which is really, really impressive. Um, but Khalil Pimpleton, he's my dog. What's good, bro? Shout out to you, man. 5 receptions for 65 yards last game and one touchdown. He had one play where the coverage was just super bad, split out for Ohio Bobcats, and he just was able to get through the seam. And Daniel Richardson, with his great accuracy, just hit him and fell forward for a touchdown. And then Kobe Lewis. Last year, CMU used him as a very good backup guy. Jonathan Ward was our main running back. He is with the Cardinals now. He is their third string running back. But I believe their starter Kenyon Drake is hurt. I believe he is. So he may split reps with forget their backup, their second string, but he might share reps this game, this next upcoming game, which will be exciting to see him in that game. Um, but next game, but sorry, Kobe Lewis. He reminds me. Nah, never mind. Hold up, I gotta rethink what I was saying. But anyway, Kobe Lewis. He split reps with Jonathan Ward last year in the backfield. They both ran for over 1,000 yards. That's only the third time in CMU history that has ever happened. It was very incredible by both of them. He ran last game 28 carries, 112 yards, and two touchdowns. CMU has a 64.8% chance to win this game. I believe this is a win. Hopefully, Karma doesn't come back and say that we're gonna lose this game like every single prediction I do. But we'll see, man. We'll see. But that's the end of that. On to the next part of our show. On the last part. Some heartbreaking news for if you're a CMU fan, if you've been a CMU fan for a long time. Titus Davis. He died this morning. He was arguably the best wide receiver in CMU history. He died of a rare kidney cancer. He was only 27. He went around the NFL. He played for the Chargers for one season. He then got cut. Then he played for the Buffalo Bills for a little bit, then got cut. Then went to the Jets. He started for them once and then got cut. Then got picked up again by them and then got cut. But he died this morning. His brother is Corey Davis for the Titans. I did not know this until reading it. I believe I knew it. I thought I knew it earlier, but I thought I just knew it. Very sad news though. His stats when he was in college for CMU, some of his accolades were 2013 and 2014 first team All MAC, 2013 and 2014 Irby Duromedi MVP award, 2013 and 2014 Bickelnoff Award preseason watch list, 2012 second team All MAC, 2012 CMU Co-Offensive Player of the Year, 2011 third team All MAC, 2011 first team freshman All American Phil Steele, 2011 CMU Offensive Rookie of the Year. He is the first player in FBS history with 8 or more receiving touchdowns in 4 seasons. Hold up. In FBS history with 8 or more receiving touchdowns in 4 seasons. Holds CMU's career record for receiving yards at 3,700, receiving touchdowns 37, and is fourth on the program's career receptions list with 124 catches. Nah, sorry, 204 catches. He is the third in MAC history to score receptions and fourth in receiving yards. Is just the third Chippewa to collect all MAC accolades in each of his 4 seasons, joining Dan Lefevre, and Brian Anderson, ranked 20th in career touchdowns in NCAA FBS history, which is really impressive. Um, he was a really good player. He grew up in Wheaton, Illinois. I know Jalen knows where that is, obviously. He went to Wheaton, Warrenville South High School. Um, yeah, man, some tragic news. For CMU. Um, rest in peace. Rest in peace, man. Prayers up to you, man. Um, Tomorrow we have a but anyways, um, very big loss for CMU fans and their family. Prayers up to the family. We're praying for you, man. Rest in peace, man. But yeah, man. Tomorrow we will be live with the Thursday night countdown, and our special guest will be. I gotta do a drum roll somehow. I gotta find out how to do it. We got Target official joining us tomorrow with the Thursday night kite countdown. We are lucky to have him on tomorrow, bro. Very special to have him, bro. Looking forward to that. And what time did you say we're gonna be live with that, KT? We're gonna be starting at going live at 7 p.m. And Steezy, if you're in here right now, I don't know if yeah, you're in here. You gotta be in there for you gotta be in there, man. Titans Colts, man. You gotta be in there, man. You gotta be the first one in there. If you're not the first one in there, man, you shoot, man. I'm making a bet right now, bro. If he doesn't do that, bro, I gotta do 500 push-ups. I gotta do it, man. I don't give a shit, man. You better be the first one in there, man. Or I'm do something, man. I'm unmod you, man. I'm a unmod you, man. But nah, I'm joking. But all right, man. This has been another episode of the College Football Upset Show, the Upset College Football Show. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Let's. I don't know if there was any. I don't know if there was any questions. Let me look back. Um, we're going to raid Das Boost right now. So yeah, guys, I appreciate everybody who came through. Appreciate everybody. And salute. Yes, sir.